Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have a special guest with me, and it is wow. That was all right. Last week of OU COD. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Hyper.
Oh, me.
Yeah, it is yours.
Oh, me. Don't worry. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the beautiful cast. My name's Hyperactive, Challengers caster.
Yes.
And of course, we have. Technically, you are now a Challengers caster. I don't know which way you are in retrospect.
I'm down, above. I don't know.
Down, above, left, right, doesn't matter. But you technically took your first steps into Challengers. I think it was a few weeks ago. So I think the bigger question here, as a UD student yourself of Ohio, how's it feel to be on the bigger stage?
It feels really good. I appreciate you asking me and calling upon me, and I'm waiting for more opportunities, I guess. But I am also appreciative of getting to cast for the college scene. I know it's not CCL main stage yet, but it's a step. It's a step, and
We get that.
yeah. And tonight we got a phenomenal matchup. Piper 6-7 OU Indy. Let's see what's happening. We're taking a look at maps and modes. What do we got?
Yeah, it's going to be a banger, a hacienda to kick things off. Then heading to a skyline, though we're loading into a skyline hardpoint, so I think
Yeah.
they might have to reset it very quickly, or we could be wrong on this. And then 3 rounds of vault to finish it up, and a lot of variety at the bittersweet end in my eyes.
Yes. I see. Some people may be tired of Vault, but you're getting the triple dosage of it. I may have been sent the wrong map record. Broby, I blame you. But Skyline Hardpoint it is first. And on this map, especially for sub players, this is kind of like their dream paradise, Hyper.
Oh, it's a wet dream. It's not just a dream paradise.
Oh,
It's a wet dream in its finest. It's the idea that you could get up close, personal, and make sure that you have those rotations on point, because the finickiness of this map just makes it that extra more complicated. But off to the races, these fine gentlemen go, and where's the kill? It took us a good full 10 seconds to get us going, and I got a little worried there. That was way too slow.
I got a little worried too. As Clutch JD, we're hopping onto him, able to pick things up. For such a bang out map, it was just like, hold up, it is as quiet as a cricket. But OU COD retake this P1 hill for the first, I guess, the middle part of it, and they also have spawns, which is, I guess, important on Skyline.
Oh, 100%. It's super important. And with any hard point as well, you got to be thinking 2 steps ahead, because that P2 is on that left side, which is just perfectly opened up as I'm mentioning it. So right now, Ohio have this upper hand. And I tell you what, they continue to keep this upper hand going, fan themselves out wide, and create this defensive line. And that's something Indiana needs to break fast.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hazzy dealing with these players, able to find one. The trade does come through. Broby just sitting here behind these steps, able to spot one, though. It's very interesting. I think the side of OU, they have about 4 subs out, which is, I mean, basically what you see on Skyline. But they're dominating the kill feed right now. I mean, we talked about how quiet it was. They're coming out with fireworks to back half of this P2 hill. And I mean, it's just, they're dominating it. And this is what you want on a Skyline. It feeds into their play style. Very chaotic, very in your face. And honestly, I'm looking at Broby to bring things out in that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want Broby to do it, he definitely is keeping it alive. 6-2, 7-2 now. Only 2 deaths in this entire match, so feeling it good. But Indiana had a brief taste of luck going onto their side, and they were briefly had that control, and now they've got themselves in an even better position. Spawns on the correct side, but as soon as they push into that kitchen area, it's gonna be hard, because once again, Duffy coming from the rear gets denied off the get-go. I was about to point out some negatives here, but Indiana, well, they stepped up, and they stepped up to the plate well.
Yeah, huge break on this P3. And I feel like Skyline in particular really comes down to these 2 hills. You see a lot of times teams like to hold spawns. At least for P3, it's more definitive if you have an AR anchoring them. But it's just so crucial. That P4 is the most definitive money hill on this map. It is make or break for some teams.
Two entry points, or 3 technically. You have your anchor sitting all the way by the lovely deck that is at the back end where Duffy will sit. You put your anchor there, and that just keeps the spawns going, and it keeps everyone ticking in the right way. And it gives you sightline onto long. If anyone tries to creep up from the piece 3, push up long, or even come down the stairs, you've got someone there to hold the fort. So it's so important you keep the player there. But Duffy, under pressure? No worries for now. Another 2. It's going to have some reinforcement by Hazy.
Yeah, he was living right next door, and again, OU just kind of continuing their tear this map. They have only let 20 points go in the past couple hills since Indiana found something on P1. The breaks have been, honestly, the kill feed has been struggling for them. They finally, for the second time, get a nice 4 dead. They're able to find some lives here, so if they can chain this last 30 seconds into P1, it's going to be huge, but as soon as I say that, Clutch JD, the man on the remix, is able to get nice 2-piece with the help of Broby. He's able to find up 2 of his own. And again, OU, they just rebuttal. Anytime Indiana has an answer, it is just responded right back with the powerhouse slang of OU.
Yeah, it's almost like the power of just Clutch JD bringing them alive. Of course, Clutch has stepped foot into this challenger's world, has made his presence, I wouldn't say necessarily a big name, hasn't made it towards the top, hasn't won a championship just yet, but I tell you what, he is a name that gets floated around. That's going to be handy to have if you're Ohio. That's that motivation, that knowledge to bring this team together and to keep it on point. So this is why we're seeing Ohio be able to chain things well, and we're seeing Indiana struggle against this well-oiled squad. And I'm not trying to glaze because I'm on their channel. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing here, and that is exactly what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I don't like to glaze, and I don't like to cast bias as well. But from what I've seen from OU, this is kind of a staple so far. This is the usual, you know, really dominate map 1 and get the fire underneath you. The only time I really saw them kind of get quelled out was when they had to face Buckeye Todd and UC. Those were 2 ranked matchups. They were very hard to kind of swallow, but I love that you bring up Clutch JD because he is a returning member technically to this roster. He was on the bench, or that 5th guy for them last year, and Hazy is also another returning player. They have the experience behind them, and we're seeing it right now, but this is a good hold out of the side of Indiana. They got Kenny in kitchen. He's cooking up something here.
Yeah, all it takes is one little flick of the switch and immediately Indiana can come back. They just need to lock down as the full push starts to come in. A quick reinforcement on the point is what's needed. There's one, not be able to get a second clutch. JD, gets it done with 2. And it almost feels every time Indiana has a grip, it just isn't strong enough. They need to go to the gym and get that muscle in.
Yeah, somebody was in weights. They were trying to get a pump, but with 10 seconds left, OU just going to hanker down on this. You know, scrap time there in the position where the playbook's going to become a little bit more open in Skyline. You know, where they push, how they push. It's going to determine a lot of things. As they're up 80 points, they're all going to flood through the back, get spawns. This is a team that's very knowledgeable. We have pointed it out before. I really want to look at Duffy, though. We're on him right now as he killed his own teammate. It doesn't matter. He said, get out of my way. Unfortunately falls to a nade there. He's kind of the underlying factor for this team. He's the one that seems to always have a negative KD in matches, but they still win. And I feel like he does his role to perfection as a main AR.
If that's the case, I can't speak for the facts behind it, but usually you see that within objective time. Well, this time round, no, he's not got it. Of course, that is really going to Clutch JD, who's got a minute 45, but again, the importance of each role is so vast. He could be well, I'm sure you can say for yourself, he's the IGL, if he's a lurker, the information gathering, that's the exact role you need. But I tell you who is doing a gem work on the Indiana side, it's Kowalski, 17 and 17, going even at the moment with a minute 10 on the board. The man knows how to anchor when the time does go into their favor. And talking of Indiana, they're slowly clawing back, and from a massive 100-point club deficit, they have made their way into fighting territory for one more time, but Money Hill is alive, and they need a break here.
It is crucial. It's something they've struggled pretty much. They didn't really turn up until this rotation on the first side of things, where they really started to get those 3 deads. Let's see what they can do here. Petey Boy in the back, able to find one. Can he get a trade? He's looking to play his life. He's looking for his teammates to get something on the front side of the hill. They finally find two. Pete with the chow, checks all the corners, but my friend, Mr. Clean, was lurking in the background. Clutch JD, able to find one with a final break from Indiana, but it's only going to be 15 seconds of scrap. It may not help you, Hyper, because it may be too late in the game.
It may be too late, and I tell you what, Ohio are hungry. They want to claim every point as they own. Last 20 seconds left for them to take map 1. And right now, Indiana are spread all over the place. They're able to find 2. There's the 4. Good night, sweet moon. They have control once again. Indiana, you got to be near to perfect from here onwards. The 13 points are left to the end of the game.
We'll see what happens. 10 seconds left. Clutch JD just emptying round after round on piano. You have Broby on cutoff duty. The man ticks up 1. Clutch JD in the feed with 2. 4 dead for OU. And again, like you said, good night, sweet moon. It's over. Map 1 Skyline.
They rotated too early. Indiana, they stepped off point. They allowed Ohio to reclaim it, and they realized no one was stood there. And it's unfortunate to not have that communication in place to say, look, someone stay, someone anchor, and then they all go and try and get the rotation on P2, which is, yes, what they were supposed to do at that last 20-second mark, get that rotation going over to that left side so you can defend P2. But you've got to have, especially at this phase of the game, 1 or 2 people left behind to anchor and make sure it stays put.
Crucial. And that's the thing about OU, maybe just because of their rocky start, communication was shaky throughout the match, and ultimately, Skyline is a huge mental blocker. Like, if you're not able to keep up, at least for the first part of the map, you're always going to be playing from behind. So that's always going to keep added pressure to your team, and I feel like that's why Indiana in late moments just weren't able to have, perfect COD right there.
We could play the if, buts, when, where, hows, and whys during how they executed. But I tell you what, the statistics doesn't lie, and clear as daylight, OU are just absolutely on fire right now. All positive in the feed. We're seeing great control by Copy JD, and it's just, at the moment, I don't want to say dominance, but clear control from the way they work, the way they communicate within. So that is something that they have on their side. But on the flip side, we're heading to a search and destroy. I would say a Skyline search and destroy, but we kind of got wronged when we said it was Hacienda half point. So that being said, no matter what search and destroy you put yourself into, it's a different mindset, different game mode, and the hard point never fully translates to an S&D. It will have elements that we can run off and break down, but realistically, a search and destroy is such a different mode, because I use 100 Thieves as a great example. They suck at search and destroy, man. They're dropping search and destroy maps even against the Falcons of all teams. Wow. Falcons, and I'm top 300 pick'ems guy, but when I put a 3-0 on Falcons and then you give one to Falcons, I ain't happy. And I doubled that as well. Like, come on, boys.
I think it's what Maven said. They were just trolling around pretty much for the first part of that match. But as I got word, it is Hacienda for map 2. So I love how you pointed out that hardpoint doesn't necessarily transition into search, because Hasi and Skyline for me are two different stories. They got a very bang out map, and then we go to Hasi, very open, a lot of creativity. It's going to be teamwork to the T on this map.
Oh, agreed. And especially, of course, I bring it up every single time, the new balcony, which everyone should be familiar with now. There is zero excuse for not recognizing the balcony and not recognizing the water that has been filled onto the rock side. But that balcony really does play dividend in the way that you play. You can't necessarily attack that southern site very easily because you have to check that angle. It's an extra angle to keep an eye on. And then, of course, Rock just it's difficult. It's a 90-degree corner you play against. Then, of course, you've got Boathouse you've got to keep an eye on. There's many other intricate angles you can play off, and it's beautifully well made. A 3-channel map that has that intricacies and has nice choke points to deal with. Whoever says Hacienda is a bad map, go screw yourself. It's beautiful.
No, I agree with you because I feel like this is what everybody needed. You know, there was a lot of hate early on about the maps, and everybody's like, oh, we'll throw Hacienda in there. Been great, creates memories from BO4. But just like you were talking about, the water route has become into a play. I feel like teams are now adapting and evolving on this map. You know, we see it in the pros all the time. Kremp and I don't know who it was yesterday, Surge, they were hitting long water routes to Boathouse. So it's another intricacy on this map that I have come to love as well. But as we're hopping into it, ladies and gentlemen, Duffy with the bomb. Looks like this is going to be a bang out top balk.
It's going to be a top balk fight, but it's all just to square up, get that information. Hazy will get the first. And that's going to kick things off nicely in 1 apiece as Indiana able to trade back. And a full commit to north side of B will allow Pete to get a wraparound as well.
See what number 4 does. Number 4 is in a cheeky spot. Duffy just laying on these steps. He's almost playing for it. After that first blood, he found the information. He's in. Pete's all as well. Gunfight goes down. And hey, Pete goes huge. As now if you're Broby, you have both guns in hand. Broby has information on one. He's going to chase this kill. IU playing the buddy system, though. They're waiting for him. They know Broby is that Slayer. And as bomb has gotten picked up, this is going to be dangerous for OU.
Well, if it was Pete, he might have spotted the bomb as well, hence why we didn't see much of Indiana movement. Bomb was too far back, couldn't predict which way this could go, but now it's down, 39 seconds left. Pete able to find one again from a distance. Broby left alive, did knock a door, able to find one. No, he can't. Dello says thank you from the sky. And that's going to be 1 to Indiana as they kick things off well.
I was almost scared. I was like, is the timing gonna go his way? Both players jumped in front of him. Good thing they jumped and were like looking both ways. So you know, always gotta look before you cross the street, right, Hyper?
Yeah, mama said always look both ways before crossing the street. You know, my mama said it as well. It doesn't change no matter what country you're in, and same with USA. It's the same down in the UK.
That is true. That's true. Canada has some different traditions, though, isn't it? Or no, is it the UK? Beans on toast? A little bit disgusting.
It's all right. It'll do. You know, last-minute food decisions is it'll do. But I tell you what's not a questionable decision is this pathway to go towards this B site. Yeah, you've got Hazy and Duffy, got sightlines. They're going to get that information as soon as they go to plant. But at the moment, nice and easy. And Indiana, again, getting that first blood and saying thank you so much. This is a better battle. This is what we're expecting from 6 and 7.
Yeah, this was what was huge is Clutch JD was trying to hit that route, but they basically waited for him, so he had to back off. And that's when that first blood became ever more crucial. Trades come through, though. Duffy able to find it, make it a 1v1. Dan sing the song, 20 seconds left. Pop up onto the rock. And I don't know what was going on there, but I guess the centering was wrong. I mean, that guy wanted to cross the street. He was looking right and left.
He definitely was looking everywhere, but Kowalski getting that job done in Indiana. 2-0 lead, and they didn't seem confident on map 1, but this definitely feels more like the Indiana we should be expecting. Setting the pace, setting the tone, and able to, for the first round, put Ohio in a pretty tricky situation to decipher. And then you see Indiana go for that attack, go confident, all in one for all. And then create that defensive line that Ohio just couldn't break.
Well, and that's what Hacienda brings. Like, we talk about Hardpoint is such a fast map. As you talk about fast, it's already a 2v2. TK comes in. But that skyline may be still in minds of OU. They're pushing P, and Indiana just kind of slowing things down, iron things up. They're finding the kills, and they're making this map be played at their pace. We'll see what happens here. This is tricky. Indiana players are split. Kowalski has information on one. Bomb makes his way down south.
See, if Pete wasn't in the water, I would not be surprised if he had made that rotation down to A, but instead, both of them staying north. Kowalski dropped back to make it easier for him to rotate in. All of this is in that knowledge that Ohio got spooked and went down south.
Oh.
But Broby,
Oh.
I think that might have given some information away. You'll be surprised how little sounds can destroy your game, and his back's against the door. How is Indiana not spotted this? The reason is Ohio is playing from afar.
17 seconds left. They gotta defuse. Hazzy has information. Great nade. Gonna keep the bomb check. Broby with the one double chow from Hazzy. And I don't know. Just Indiana playing very slow in that post-plant situation. They worked the whole side of the left map, and they decided not to push out Platt. I mean, what's your thoughts there, Hyper? Because they chewed off a lot of time.
They did chew it off, but in these post plants where you have zero information, you know, I use reference of Counter-Strike. There are so many corners in this map. You meticulously check every single one so you can approach the site with a fair fight. Because if you lose one from a silly corner you didn't check, yeah, you're gonna go into this battle with a guaranteed loss. So waste your time to check corners is never a waste. It is meticulous and done correctly. As Broby, he'll get the first blood to kick things off.
Pete responding with one of his own, though. 2-2 trades come through. Kowalski able to do this, and look at this again. Another 2v2 situation. Broby having all kinds of information. I will say, he is delayed long enough for Clutch to hit this wrap. Indiana seem to know what's up. They're playing top secret. This seems to be the play. Every time, Broby could be the player. He's got to take down one before he falls.
Does he check left? That's the question. He does, admittedly a little too late, and in doing so, the timing from Indiana is just perfect, as they've been able to evade the crosshairs of Broby for now, as the bomb does go down. And I love this position from Ohio, because now they can pinch from both sides and play multiple angles.
We'll see what happens. Team coordination is going to have to go huge. Broby making entrance, making noise. Clutch JD has information on one. Did Kowalski see him? Kowalski sees him, has to back down. TK comes in, huge. Broby pounces, and the love is there. OU tie it 2-2, and Broby earns the RCXD.
Ouch. Ouch to the Team K. I wish we had the POV of that. Was that a case that he mistaken the player completely and took him out? Or was that just unlucky while trying to... I don't know. Nonetheless, a Team K in that scenario is never good.
Never good, but maybe, I think it was because Kowalski had information, right? So then Pete, he's playing on the right side of the rock. He wants to reposition and make it like a 2v1 gunfight. So he may have just lined up right in front of Kowalski.
Very much could, but we will never know.
We'll never know.
And Indiana, yeah, if Indiana are streaming for themselves, then yes, we'll know, and I'll go look at it and have a little laugh. But nonetheless, it's in the history, and they're gonna look forward as Kenny getting very aggressive. Oh, beautifully aggressive, getting the first pick, and in doing so, they now have that B side in full control.
See what happens here. Clutch JD, fast sub, has made his way around. If he acts fast enough, he's not going to go up the top plat. So he's going to try and re-put this bomb down at A, or B, at A. I don't know. He's able to find a nice two-piece. Clutch JD, making it yet again another 2v2. Has information on Kenny, and now are they going to try and force this on A? It seems to be the plan for OU. Every time they get in these 2v2 hypers, they always slow things down. They wait for IU to make the mistake first.
Well, it worked the other way around when Indiana were forcing that pressure onto Ohio. So they've adapted this strategy, and in doing so, making Indiana think. You can see they're trying to jiggle Pete to go north, and in doing so, Pete will take out Hazy. And this is almost telegraphing exactly what they're going to do. See, both of them looking north. They know where it is. Nate's going to come in to actually hit him in the face. Just needs to get that finish. Pushes around the corner. Job done. Pete says thank you very much.
Crazy. That man, Kenny, saw a nade stick to his fat face. Let me tell you, man. It was just like, dunk. That's how IU retake the lead 3-2. I mean, good discipline out of Pete right there in top Balk. I feel like the past few times IU hasn't had the timing, so they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna iron up a site even longer. We're gonna wait until we see something or until that bomb goes down. And obviously it paid off.
It 100% did, and Indiana did read the actions from Ohio very nicely. And Ohio, I understand what they're doing. They're trying to force the rotation to come in from Indiana, but in doing so, they lose a player, so then they have to commit to that fake, and you're in a 1v2. The statistics never go for you unless you can line them up, but it's not the worst scenario. This game's still ridiculously close at 3-2, and Indiana going north. And a little sweep of the top balcony will say it's clear, and Ohio buddying up like a buddy system, and it's one way to get around the map.
I guess. I mean, you talk about them going north. They went south. They're now going back to north because they're like, hey, no presence there. Bomb is going to be a free plant. The player to watch, though, is number 5. Kowalski has made his way into top, a boathouse. We talk about this being a new advantage, the waterways, but it's Clutch JD able to find one on the flank. Pillbox push coming in through mid. Everybody stressing.
You got 1, 2 coming from mid, 2 coming from the north, and this might make great execute if they work in unison. But when you throw one player out and not commit together, might make things a little bit harder. But Ohio do have the extra man, the defuse and cover coming in, working perfectly. Kowalski left. He needs to jump back in, but he doesn't realize the bomb's being defused. Ohio takes the round.
I mean, hey, that's what you do in the numbers game. 4v2, 4v3. They, and that's something you don't see a lot, Hyper. Like, you don't see many people hop the bomb right away. So, it was crazy because 2 players committed to that. I thought that person right there that was gonna have that chow, was gonna get the timing.
Well, they say pros don't fake.
Pros don't fake.
You ever heard that expression?
I've never heard that expression.
You've never heard pros don't fake, man.
I don't think I have.
Then again, I am a Counter-Strike boy, and the rule in that is pros don't fake, because the bomb is just a little louder when you hop on it, like Black Ops 1 day where it clicked very nicely. But nonetheless, brilliant defuse coming in. Defuse and cover always work, but I tell you what also works is running into a crosshair. Is it 3-1 already in Indiana? Almost a free site. Bomb not in the best of positions, but Duffy, well, not going to last all too long.
Yeah, and that's another thing about this OU team is because of their play style and how they really like to push the pedal to the metal, especially in hardpoint. It was a thing I saw early on in their first 2 weeks. I was like, okay, yeah, it's working. It's working well in S&D. You're playing super fast. You're winning your gunfights. The problem is, I feel like the first 2 weeks, they never faced a team like IU. They never faced the Hoosiers that were good at slowing the pace. They were good at patiently waiting on these lanes for ARs to find kills. And right now, it's starting to hurt them in the butt because they're just trading defensive rounds. And if it goes like that, I think IU is going to pull things out in round 11 if it goes that far.
Well, the second round is definitely needed. As Ohio again lose the first blood, but quickly trade it up. So that first battle may not feel successful for either side, but it's a great amount of information given away. Hazy not getting the information he wanted, and there was an opportunity for a free bomb plant temporarily.
We'll see what happens. Duffy able to find the kill. Broby in the next one. And look at this, 1v3. We're down to number 6. Big boy Pete. Well, Pete must have stopped at Subway because he got a cheap sub and got sick off of the salmonella. As for those that are there, don't ever get the mozzarella cheese.
That sounds like experience.
Yes, personal experience. It'll put you in the toilet.
That's why you go to Mr. Sub, not Subway.
Yes. Jersey Mike's.
Nonetheless, 4 apiece, only 2 rounds to take it home. Well, only this map, because at the moment, Ohio may have the map advantage. But Indiana, they're looking strong here, and I love what Indiana are putting up. We said it time and time again. Their slow-paced mentality works for them, but Hazy's aggression from afar will massively benefit them as that gets traded out all too quickly.
And the map is flipped on its head yet again. The pace these these teams are playing at is impeccable, as Broby able to find a nice one right there. Ring around the rosy. Bomb is going to go down at B. Number 7 is in a weird spot, stuck between somewhat in a rock and a hard place. All these arrows are chaotic as ever. Trades come down. Dello, last one alive. Almost had the snap there, but OU, this is their play style. Get into the mix, get into the corners, and when you least expect it, they pop out of the shadows.
I tell you what, you said they need an attacking round. Well, there you go. That's the attacking.
I did. They needed it.
That's the exact thing they need. So the pendulum has been stopped. Finally, the rhythm broken. Ohio will have defense. Indiana here for the attack, but I'm gonna be real. I still feel there's a bit of Indiana wick left to come back and pull something off. The RCXD from Duffy will be deployed. It's only gonna be useful for information.
It doesn't matter. You know, Clutch JD, he's over here on A-bomb, finding kills by himself. Is now in a 4v3 situation on the defense. If you're OU, you're feeling yourself. Clutch. Oh, hit a Shotzi route, hit a Hydra route. Well, he's getting stuck on that fence. He is able to get over. May have been a little shocked because Kowalski saw him. RC comes in, but Kenny on the flip side, Kenny on the far left side of the map gets a kill. And again, we're looking at another similar round where arrows are all across everywhere. This is going to be crazy 1v1s across the board.
It's going to be huge. You can see 2 of Broby able to get 1. That's opened up a little bit of opening and north control, all in Ohio's favor. And they're going to very quickly realize it's not going that way. Matter of fact, Bomb isn't going anywhere. It's stuck out in the open. And Ohio, they don't want to get caught up in this. They don't have that information. They don't have the knowledge to help them. Pete not able to finish it off. Oh, it's all just tagging up. And it just to make matters worse, Hazy comes in. Hazy finishes it off. Ohio takes map 2. Oh, this is all insult to injury to Indiana. As we're going to be forced to a control. But Ohio just needs to take it home.
Hazy with a nice 2-piece right there to end it. Big confidence booster because, I mean, I haven't seen a team take OU to that lengths in a while. Like, week 3 was their toughest matchups. Again, I'm going to bring back Buckeye COD and Cincinnati COD. Those are the 2 teams in this Midwest that I think are in the top 25. And it's just been, it's a little scary. It's a little scary, but they ice up. They ice up.
They definitely have. And if you want a team to really challenge them,
okay, St. Clair. Yeah, let's go.
Big up the St. Clair boys. Good friends with them. Good friends with them. But no, the northern region definitely having their own battles of their own. But the Midwest Metro, is it Midwest Metropolitan Conference that is definitely one to keep an eye on. And a game like this, beating going 6th and 5th between each other, being able to win no matter what position will massively start jumping these ranks. And it's something these guys need, especially for qualification later down the line. I know it's a very complicated tree and pathway. You can blame Shift for this. And when I eventually get that communication going, I'll tell them that my brain's confused.
And another interesting thing is, because of, I believe, Midway is technically that 4 seed, so they're above both of these teams. With them losing 3-0 today, a big 3-0 from the side of the Bobcats here could jump them into that 4th spot. And honestly, I think top 4 sounds pretty good for, what, a playoff position?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just speculating here with you. I mean, look, you got to think there's like 18 teams per division. There's like 8 divisions, so
yeah, there's a lot. But you could say the same for Indiana as well. They're in this spot as well. If they can reverse sweep Ohio here,
true,
which there is potential. You know, they started to claw themselves back onto that hard point. They showed a lot of presence when it was coming onto that search and destroy. I wouldn't rule out this possibility and an opportunity of this reverse sweep coming in. And if Indiana can just lock themselves in, focus up, and just leave everything out on the table, I truly believe there is that shot that they can come back from this. And especially if we've got this right, 3 rounds of Vault, and this is somehow Indiana's map choice overall, of course it's not their pick, but what I mean, like their favorite,
Yeah.
then hell, they're going to be happy with us. They could run away, but it's a big if scenario because Ohio, yes, Indiana can control pace really well, but Ohio just knows how to break.
100%. I agree with you all the way. We're going to a control where is a very wonky mode for me. I feel like this is one where it's pretty much just TDM to a T. But this is one where, I mean, kills matter, 4 deads matter, getting stacks matter. A couple people I'm looking to kind of look forward to for the side of IU is Dello. I feel like he was a sub that did really well in Skyline, especially late on. He was kind of finding those kills for their team. ARs on the flip side, Pete, Kowalski, they start to step up in S&D. It's that silver lining that Indiana really needs to, you know, kind of just mesh together. Like you were saying, once they click, they've always had those spots of crawling back. It's just kind of like, hoorah it, you know, Marine. Get your ass in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I swear Indiana has a huge Marine base somewhere. I don't know. If I knew, I would have given it to the British intelligence anyway, but...
Oh, wow.
Hey, man, you see this big-ass flag behind me, you really think my loyalty's anywhere in North America? Hell no, it's all in the UK. But nonetheless, as much as it's all jokes all around, onto the vault we go. They're all loaded in. Let's get this show on the road. And off to the races, these fine gentlemen go.
Yeah, as our friend Scav would say, that is his line himself. Hazy, captain of this team, pulling out a sub. 3-man hit through Top Cat, I should say. They are flying. As now Broby hopping onto the point. Kills going the way early on. Other side of this Bobcat team, and that's a nice 4 dead. That's what you need on Vault control. Now you need to push up. Get some map presence. That's a big thing on Vault I see a lot of teams don't do.
Is huge map presence and clutch. Oh my lord, you're getting a feed coming into it as he gets another little 2-piece to keep it going. But yeah, 100% map presence is needed as A is already done. You can already see that Clutch has pushed himself right inside of Art, and you're going to hear us talk about Art for days as this is the position, the golden boy position that you stitch yourself in. But Kowalski comes from.
Kowalski able to find a big kill there, and you talked about it. We're gonna say it time and time and day. This is the power spot for ARs, especially on this B Street. I feel like control on Vault is so hard just because of that position alone. Then you add in the subs on Vault control door, the wraps off spawn. It's a headache to deal with these guys. And again, if you're IU, Pete, Kowalski, they're gonna have to go huge. On the flip side, if you're OU, a lot of U's going around. It's gonna be I think Duffy. He's that main AR. He's gonna have to step up huge if he wants to open up a lane on that B Street to at least win an offensive round.
You might want to open up the vault as well, because Pete's got a couple in, and now he can start to turn on the blender. He gets his shots in as well, because he keeps on going forth, and Pete, he is frying, and he stirred things up nicely. And he's coming back for more. He's hungry for more spawn traps. Finally gets taken down, and Indiana have locked out Ohio for a brief amount of time. Now it's Kowalski left alone on this point as Ohio starts to push up. They need to keep them alive for a bit longer, and Kowalski's done exactly what he needs for his team to come back.
Yeah, Kenny able to find another kill right there, and when you thought it looked desperate, when you thought it was going to go the way of OU, they got A super early. They had 2 minutes basically to work with. It is now a 9-7 life, or 9-7 lives for both teams. It's now even. As now, look at this, OU in another position to find something. These ARs are pushed up. Pete and Dello able to slow things down. IU getting back to this art control. That's what you love to see. Duffy trying to shut things down. 5-4 life count. Play it like a search, boys. Play it like a search.
They need to play their lives carefully because see Indiana ripping them away. You have Kenny at the rear, able to give out more information. So you can see the park the bus right onto Art. It is down to Hazy. 25 seconds in a dream. He would have to technically ace at an S&D style game and stay on point in some way, but Hazy gives away his location, and that's the round given to Indiana.
Yeah, IU, again, we talk about their patience in S&D, but I love how nobody chased right there. Dude, you saw that? Like, everybody, they knew where Hazy was for the last 18 seconds. They were just like, yeah, we're just going to wait here. We're going to pick up the lanes on flank. We're going to pick up the lanes on the front side. And Kowalski, 8 and 6. Man went huge. Every time OU had a glimmer of hope to break B, it was shut down quickly, I will say, by the side of the Hoosiers.
It was shut down quickly, and Indiana just knew how to pace themselves as well. But yes, there were great opportunities. They could start turning on the blender and get the spawn trap going, but they didn't get cocky about it. They got 2-3 players, dipped out, allowed the respawns to come back in, double checked no one, went south and got through their ranks, and then came back into it. So a lot of discipline on this side of Indiana, but, and this is the big but, that was defense.
Yes.
Now they have to attack the harder side.
The name of the game in control, well, especially on Vol, or in control in general, is offense. Can it win championships? We've seen defense do it before. I mean, ask the Eagles, ask the Chiefs. It was a sad story for the Super Bowl. Actually, I was quite happy, but Clutch JD picking things up early on this round. Has a 2 spree, and this is what a sub can do. Start to mingle around this pool area.
Again, a little bit of discipline on the side of Ohio, not pushing too deep, but they have forced 2 players down into their spawn, so they're putting that presence up against Indiana early, making sure that they're not going to step too far away. But now they're getting greedy. Now they want more, 25-20, and they're able to get the kills and constantly keep the pressure where it needs to be. Not a single tick done, and Ohio are really wanting to finish this game here and say to Indiana, this is our series and our map.
We're hopping on board with Dello, who thought some player was going to come to the front side of that connector. I don't know what he's thinking, because the comms should be like, hey, they're in our spawn, they're in our spawn. Nice 3 dead for IU, though. Can you hop onto it? No, it's Clutch JD, the man that goes S&D Demon. Guess what? Challengers player, what? Control is his name. Able to slow things down for a little bit, allow his teammates to reach out here. Duffy able to find one, number 7, Top Cat, in a crucial position, gets shut down. And now, what? There's 6 seconds left. You gotta fly if you're the side of the Hoosiers. What can you do? Guess what? Dello on point. Isn't able to find anything.
No, nothing there. All often. Oh, Indiana. Definitely not the position we saw them before, but then this posed the question. Ohio, with their sterling start, now has a 3-tick advantage to be defensive side if we are forced to a round 5. But we go once again. Ohio now going to be attacking. They got A done, but B was the struggle. They just couldn't find a way to maintain arc control. And any coach will tell you that you need that positioning to grant yourself a good advantage.
And the thing is, they never got somebody far enough to spawn them P4. I feel like there was never a consistent clean 4 dead. A lot of the times when you looked at it, when that person was able to reach top art, there was always one person coming off spawn that was able to spawn close enough that it messed things up to the point where he wasn't able to fully set up. So I feel like that was a big part and something that Indiana kind of capitalized off of, because it made that B round a little bit more smoother for them. That's why they were able to, you know, still rebuttal and reach out of that B site very quickly.
Still a lot more difficult from Ohio. They're not able to get a good presence onto A like they did last time in Indiana. Almost flipping the page, giving Ohio a taste of their own medicine. Kenny now pushing up, find one. He might get the information for the second, says thank you very much. Yeah, Kenny getting dirty in there. He's getting the feel and he's got that blender rolling, but this is where I talk about overcommitting. Because now Ohio's got through the lines.
Yeah, they got top cat. That's something they love to do. They love to push as a team. Kenny able to slow one down at least for his teammates to pick up the trade. Pete going huge with a nice double. Dello on the front side. I do want to know if this is the Dello that's at LAN. Able to rip somebody off of that. Nice laying on his belly. Says, I'll take it with a nice cheeseburger combo. Posting up behind the statue, got stuck with a nade, unfortunately, and now, if you're OU off spawn, you gotta go through Kenny again, who finds another double, and again, with the response of Pete, this IU team, impeccable defense.
It is beautiful. I thought, where did this Indiana come from? This is more like the Indiana I expected, and the dream of making a comeback is still on. Vidello down low, gonna find one, says thank you very much, and this starts to cause a little bit of chaos. There's only one left, onto point, and Clutch can't stay alive for much longer. Duffy tries to get on as well. 8 seconds left on the clock. The pressure mounts up. Hazy tries to get on. It's chucking one body at a time because they're just trying to put a foot on. A stronger performance from Indiana, but still allowed a tick through. 4 ticks to 0. It's still Ohio's defense for round 5.
So Hyper, I have a question here. I have a question.
I've
A
got
proposition. I have a theory. If you're Indiana, what is the goal here? I know obviously to kind of close it out on an attack, but we talk about Ohio and how they have a 4-tick lead heading into round 5 if it's theirs, if they can keep that. What's the game plan heading into this offense?
Win. It's literally the only way. They have to basically be near to victory or get victory, and Indiana are still in this. But if you're Ohio, well, you can't let anyone through, and I love this attempt. They're going risky to kick things off, and Indiana, there's the first tick. They're halfway through second. They've got great control. They don't need our control because they're locking it down here. Just as the quiet before the storm, I don't think they realize Kowalski still on the edge.
Oh, Kowalski not able to find anything. But hey, strong showing, a tick at B, that's what you need. The problem now is, because they didn't have constant progress, they get shut down. It's going to rely on Kenny. He's going to have to go huge for them to get out of their spawn, because this is the same story we have been seeing on every defense for OU. In your face, everybody across the 50-yard line.
If you're Kenny, you can't stay in this position for too long because you've got a spawn trap in play. You've got to push up. You've got to put yourself in a great position where you can actually help. And right now, all he's trying to do is delay any new spawn trappers to come in. And he has created that little opening that has opened things up. You've got to go safe to A, or go for a risky B. Dello going for the B side, and I don't believe this. Why not go hard? Why not make the split? They forced the rotation to go north, and now they have time to get some capture on A.
If you're Pete, you're not able to read that. 2 players come from behind. Kenny has to step off. 24 seconds left on the clock. Kenny not able to win a big one. Although, again, they're not able to get a clean stack. That's only a tick and a half. If you're number 7, you have to go huge. Kowalski has been providing two pieces after 2 piece for his team. Number 5 is able to get there in time. Broby with a nice couple kills to shut things down. 15 seconds left, and we might see a round 5. Kenny able to provide a nice 2-piece clutch. JD responding with one of his own. It is 2-piece after 2-piece. Make it 3 for clutch. 4 dead for OU. And now you have 1 shot left if you're the side of Indiana. I don't even think you have a shot left at all.
No, Clutch came out clutch, and it's 2 seconds left. Nothing that Indiana could do. They're stuck on the attacking side, but Clutch, JD, that 3-piece was the GOAT moment that saved Ohio from an attacking round. They get to sit in the defensive round. Absolutely nuts. Ohio stepped up when they needed to. They were looking like they were about to lose it, but they came alive.
Chaos ensued on the map, and again, that is what fits this Bobcat team the best. They love to thrive under that pressure. You secured defense. Interestingly enough, you secured it by just 1 tick. Insane. And now, as we're heading into this 4-man hit through Cat or Poolish, Azzy could have the read here. 7-hand, information on 1. Kills come out. Nice 3 dead for IU.
Brilliant start for IU. Indiana, they've got to take advantage of it. They're getting a good wrap of information everywhere, just making sure no one's around. But Broby up to the top. You've got to be checking Cat. They did briefly, but not in depth. And in doing so now, they've got to be careful, not allow Ohio to push too far forward. Risky jump from Clutch as he tries to get confident, and the confidence does pay off as he's able to find 1, and then doing so forces the rest of Ohio to start pushing forward. And I tell you what here, Corpse, the blender is starting to spin, and Indiana, they just have never really found a way out of the blender. They keep getting chucked in it, and they can't seem to run away. Hazy from the rear finds one, can't dip away too quickly, but look where Clutch is. He's delayed himself, and now that gives him an opportunity to come in and cause some chaos with 2. Chaos Control, his name's Shadow. He is part of the Sonic universe.
Honestly, I'm a little bit stunned by IU because they were able to get that map control. They decided to push forward. 2 out of the 3 members that were on A wanted to get aggressive, and I know map presence is a big thing, and map control is a big thing on Vault, and especially control in particular. But it's just like at that point, you are letting that time tick, or you're letting time go for the side of OU to really kind of reach out this A zone. As now Kenny having to fend one person off of it, it's giving he's giving everything in the tank. And now, one by one, you have to trickle in with 6 seconds left. I don't even know if Kowalski's going to be able to make it. 3, 2, does the Chow come in? That player body block. 8 seconds left. A big 2-piece now in a 3-man stack. Can you get it? It's going to go. Guess who's here? Clutch JD.
It's all going to be everyone from Ohio, but they're not jumping on. They're not contesting.
Oh!
I thought the contest comes in.
Oh, the
We
players.
might need a TMO. Let's get a check on that.
The player slid back for half of a second, stepped off the point. Nobody was there. Nobody was there.
Yeah, we need virtual assistant, TMO. Like, it was too close. I genuinely think, I honestly think that Indiana was still on point. I think they were still there, but again, we'd have to slow that down pixel by pixel. But Ohio, with a fraction, able to force Indiana off point just when they needed to, and in doing so, Ohio takes this 3-0 sweep.
Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the 6-7 matchup is owned by OU nonetheless. And again, with how the roster sits in the standings, they could jump to number 4, number 5, whatever it is. They could surpass Midway. They are inching their way to the CCL playoffs. And another interesting thing about this OU team is this is the threshold you'll see. Hyper. There is a level of it for, I talk about Buckeye COD and UC. Then there's OU. They are the kind of the threshold from what you see in this Midwest Metro. So I'm excited to see what the playoffs will bring and if we make it in.
Well, it definitely will be interesting, but thank you everybody for watching this spectacular game we had ahead of us. Of course, being on the Ohio stream, you guys are already cheering. You guys are probably going to go home, party, and get drunk like normal, as every uni student does. Hey, I was a Pompey student, and you can go work out which university that was. And I know what drinking in universities like. But of course, go celebrate. But the day is not done. You said